Why are we mowing in January? The grass is not growing. I don't even know if you guys can hear the mowing, so you're welcome for that rendition of song. I can't sing. I can't sing. Anywho, if you can hear that, please ignore it. I can't do anything about it, and I want to film because I only have so much daylight to work with. So, hi. My hair is different. Surprise, surprise. Actually, it might be a bit of a surprise because I realized for 2 years I had kept my hair the same color, not the same style. So because I was training it to get back to its natural state for the first time ever because I had straightened it for so many years. And so I figured I probably shouldn't be dyeing it and putting chemicals. I was trying to like do a detox, like a hair detox, to get it to this point where it's natural and curly and healthy looking, which it's quite long. It's quite long. You can't even, it goes down here. You can't even see all of it. I felt like my brown hair just was not cutting it anymore. Like it just was not an expression, an authentic expression of how I've been feeling on the inside. On the inside. That was so creepy. Which is really embracing my dark feminine and rage, which I know a lot of people probably hear the word rage and associate that with anger and think of rage as a bad thing, which I certainly did for quite a while because that's how I grew up. But I've actually come to realize that my rage is sacred because it shows me where I need to set boundaries, and it also shows me what I'm not willing to tolerate any longer. So my anger is actually a really, it's my anger, my rage, it's been a wonderful guiding light in the sense that I'm able to understand now I'm angry because I'm usually prioritizing other people or trying to please other people instead of like prioritizing myself and what I really want to do. As I really kind of step into this embodied version of the dark feminine. But yeah, I just kind of looked in the mirror one day, and not using appearance and changing up your appearance as a coping mechanism, because that's something I definitely used to do. I was like, oh, well, if I change the outer, it's going to help me like change the inner. That's not how it works. It starts within first. And so then once I realized how much I'd grown inside and like what was wanting to be expressed on an internal level, then I was like, oh, okay, so I don't know, doing all of this, it was fun. It was fun because it felt like I was matching up my internal state, and now I feel like my physical appearance matches my internal state. So that's just my little riff. I was saying on Instagram stories that I feel like I'm entering my reputation era, if we want to talk about Taylor Swift eras. And if you don't like Taylor Swift, just like keep it to yourself. It's so, like, that's so whatever year that was. I don't know, early 2000s, early 2010s to not like Taylor Swift. Like, Taylor Swift is a boss. She is a queen. She is the queen. Just praise. We praise Taylor Swift. Oh, do we have a leaf blower now? Wonderful. Perhaps if I move closer, then you'll be able to hear me instead of the leaf blower. Doubtful. Anyways, this has been the longest intro ever, and I need to get my life together and figure out a plan for January. So my whiteboard says October 2021. I'm questioning myself. I'm questioning my sanity, because not only do I have my day planner, but I also have a dry erase calendar. I have a calendar on my refrigerator, and I also have Google Calendar. So here we are. January calendar is a lot less stressful, a lot less full than my October calendar. You may notice something here that there's only one YouTube video scheduled for the entire month of January. So let's talk about that. I accidentally pressed the self-timer button for it to hit record, so I was like all ready to go, and then it just started beeping at me for 10 seconds. This really circles back to what I was talking about in December before I took my break, my sabbatical, which is that I've just been getting a better grip on my energy and understanding my energy levels. And when I say that, I mean like the energy that I'm expending and how often I can expend energy or effort, if you will. We're gonna talk about human design again. So I know I've talked about it a lot in the past, but it's just something that has been at the forefront of my mind, which, by the way, the Inner Divine Collective content from November is such a great deep dive for beginners, but also for those of you who are familiar with human design. That content from November is fantastic. I highly encourage, like, I just wish everyone knew about human design, because what I've learned about myself has completely changed my life. And I know that a lot of people use that phrase and kind of use it carelessly. I'm not using it carelessly. Understanding my design has truly changed my life. I would say probably more than anything else, any other system that's out there. And that's because I fall into this very small bucket of like 6 to 8% of the population. Reflectors are like 1%, I think, 1 or 2%, 1 to 3% of the population. So you have your reflectors, who are the rarest type, and then you have your manifestors, who are your second rarest type. The biggest thing I learned about my energy, my aura actually, is that all manifestors, not just me, but all manifestors have a repelling aura. A repelling aura. And once I understood this, or once I acknowledged this, I realized why, like, how my life has unfolded, like in the way that it's unfolded, and why it's always been kind of hard to connect with the large majority of the population. But then when I find my people, I like really find my people. You know what I mean? Actually, probably not. Like, you probably don't know what I mean unless you're a manifestor. It truly is that like black sheep mentality. And the fact that you have a repelling aura, it means that some people are going to come into your world and they are just going to absolutely love you and adore you and want to support you. And then you're going to have a lot of other people who just absolutely despise you and hate you. And so this just opened up a whole thing for me. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And the biggest downfall for a manifestor is people pleasing, because you're trying to be liked by everyone. It's uncomfortable to not be liked. It's uncomfortable to be hated by people and to not really understand the reason why. But when you get a grip on the fact that your aura is literally repelling, and that's for a reason, again, my brain just went like locked and loaded. Like it just all made sense all of a sudden. So I love the way that Jenna Zoe, I'm not sure how to say her last name, but I love the way she put it. She's like the human design expert, by the way. Anything human design, like, just go to her. She has all the information, and that's where I learned the majority of the information about my design and my chart. But the example that she gives for manifestors is that manifestors are like the conductor of a train. And so as the conductor, I make an announcement, I inform people, hi, my train is going from London to Paris. If you would like to hop on my train from London to Paris, then I will take you from London to Paris. And there are gonna be some people who hear that announcement over the loudspeaker and go, I wanna go to Paris. Let's go to Paris. That sounds great. I like this route, I like this train, I like the seats inside the train, I like this conductor, I like the baggage and the ticketing system, whatever. Like, they like all these things, right? And so they're going to hop on that train, and we're gonna get on the train and we're gonna go to Paris together, and I'm gonna be the conductor and I'm gonna take you to Paris. But there are going to be so many other people on the platform who go, ugh, Paris, why Paris? I hate Paris, and look at the color of that train, and those seats aren't nearly as comfortable, and their ticketing system could be better for this particular train car. I don't know, we don't really have trains in the United States, but you kind of see where I'm going with this. And so those people, super, like, get on another train. A lot of those people, though, will decide to complain about this train that they're not even going to be on, or make a whole bunch of judgments and assumptions about that train, and also the conductor of that train, and like, why are they going to Paris? Why would they want to go there? London's so much better. So that was the example she gave, and again, that's probably really hard to understand if you're not a manifestor, but that is literally how my whole life has been, just feeling like I have all these ideas and all this stuff I want to create. And the really cool thing about being a manifestor is that it's the only energy type in human design that can initiate without feedback, permission, approval, collaboration from any of the other types. So the manifestor can just initiate and then create something. The caveat here, though, is that manifestors only have so much energy. So they're here to be the idea people, to bring about the ideas and the innovations and new ways of doing things, but then they don't have the energy to sustain it and to see it all the way through and to carry it all the way out, or to execute it in the time frame usually that they would like, which is where that reliance, because that's the cool thing about all the designs, is we all need each other, right? So it's that the caveat is that there's not enough energy to see it all the way through. So there's this reliance or this dependence on the other design types, especially the generators, because the generators make up 70%, 8%, the majority of the population. And they are the powerhouses. They are the, like, you think of a generator, like a factory, like they're just able to consistently produce. That was a huge wake-up call for me, to be totally honest, because I had been treating myself for so long like I was a generator, like I could have these ideas and then initiate them and act on them, and then just like keep producing and stay consistent with that and see something all the way through, which for a lot of my career as a creative entrepreneur, I have done that. But there was always that point. I talk about burnout and exhaustion all the time. That probably wouldn't feel like burnout or exhaustion to a generator, but to a manifestor, it was too much, because that's not what my energy is supposed to be doing. I'm not supposed to be consistently producing. I'm supposed to be innovating and coming up with the ideas and having the time to follow my urges and my nudges to see what the next creation, what the next thing is going to be, but to not necessarily execute it all by myself. So with YouTube in the past, I was treating myself like a generator because I was putting out new content every single week. And now I understand why I had that kind of anger boiling underneath the surface, was because I felt like I was creating kind of for the sake of creating, not when I had something to share, or not when I had something to inform everyone of. Because the thing is, when I come on here to inform to some people, the people who are repelled by my aura, it's going to sound like I'm just spilling all of these ideas, or that I'm like real salesy or trying to sell something. But like, that is literally my energy. Like I am supposed to come up with, not just me, all manifestors are supposed to come up with new, better, improved, innovative ways of doing things, of services, of products, and then we are supposed to inform the public, everyone, what it is we're doing, so that if they want to hop on that train, you know, come along with and join the ride, then they can. But if I don't inform people of my manifestor things and the ideas and the things that I'm bringing to life, then I am doing not only myself a disservice, but those people who want to get on my train a disservice. And so the whole point of me saying this is that I am only going to create videos when I have something I want to inform about. And that's usually going to be because I've created something, whether that's a book, a course, a program, some kind of a launch, a product, some other service. When I want to come on here to inform about those things, because that's what I'm excited about. That's what my life is about creation. And YouTube, I didn't realize this before, is my way to inform. It's my way to announce what I've been working on, what's coming up, and what I'm doing. And again, to a lot of people, that's probably going to seem, it's gonna sound kind of like salesy, but like I'm so far past that because this makes so much sense to me in my brain. And so it's kind of like the people who get it, and the people who don't. And that's just, that's the boundary, that's the line, like we're just leaving it there. I know one video a month is something that I most likely can commit to unless I am like deep in the throes of creating something, because honestly, pulling out the camera, it throws off my focus, because then I suddenly get hyper focused on this and I can't hyper focus on the thing that I'm creating. Because when I get an idea, you guys, I go all in. I go all into it. It's like I don't sleep, I don't rest, like it's just that's kind of actually what's happening right now, because I'm working on 2 books and I also have something else that I'm working on that I haven't announced, and there's something else that's being launched that I'm a part of. So there are other things right now that are taking my focus, and I want them to take my focus. That's the update on my YouTube schedule. And that isn't to say that there can't be a month where I have a video every week, especially if we're in my on season, which is spring and fall. It really depends on my energy levels and where I'm at. So that's the update on YouTube. So when you come to my channel, it's most likely going to be a video that has some sort of announcement in it, something that I'm launching or putting out there. And again, if you don't like that, that's fine. Like, you don't have to come to my channel. No one's forcing you to, but if you do like it, that makes me really happy. And I'm happy that you're here, and I'm happy that you are one of the people who is not repelled by my aura. So thank you. Alright friends, so that is going to conclude this video. And before I go, I do want to mention a couple of things, exciting stuff. The first one is I was invited to take part in an interview series called Be a Bestseller 3.0. There are over 20 experts in the writing industry, publishing industry, editing industry, and Emma is the host of it. She is so awesome, and she has put together this interview series to help writers be a bestseller. So I feel so honored to have been one of the guests for that interview series. I will leave the link in the description box below. You can sign up. It's completely free. I probably should have mentioned that. It's completely free. So sign up, and then I believe the event runs, I know it starts on the 17th, and I believe it runs through the 28th. So if you are looking for a way to kind of get your mind right, W-R-I-T-E, get it? This is the perfect masterclass interview series to join, so that way you can really get focused on writing this year. The last thing that I want to mention before I sign off has to do with a book. Crescent Fire. I feel like I've been talking about Crescent Fire for quite a while now, and I thought that it was going to be released last year, but Beyond the Stars and Shadows ended up being released last year. And then between the Write 50K in 30 Days course and that accountability program that I did over the months of October and November last year, things just got kind of crazy with, I was writing a completely separate book during NaNoWriMo, so my focus wasn't really on the Shadow Crown world, but it has been in December. And for the month of January, I am this close to being completely done with the edits, this close to ordering a proof. I actually think I'm ordering a proof next week. What up? We'll just let that fade into the background. But with all of that being said, I do have a release date, and it actually works out so perfectly because Crescent Fire takes place in the early spring months. So yeah, I've got a release date for the 4th book in the Shadow Crown series, and that date is, just a drum roll please, Tuesday, March 22nd, 2022. 3/22/22 is the release date for Crescent Fire. I'm so excited about it. Yeah, those are my 2 announcements, so make sure you sign up for Be a Bestseller 3.0. Again, you can find that link in the description box below, and then mark your calendars for March 22nd, 2022, because that is when Crescent Fire releases. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and click that subscribe button so that way you can stay updated, especially since I do not have a schedule. I don't know if that little bell works, if it sends you emails or not. I really don't know, but maybe we should just do it. Click the little bell, that way you'll get an email, hopefully, whenever I post a new video. And other than that, I will see you guys in a future video. Bye!